The carbon credit system would allow companies that emit less greenhouse gases to trade credits or offsets with those that emit more. And the goal is to encourage industry to slash its planet heating emissions. Can you explain a bit more, please?
So the baseline credit system is what the main carbon offset system use to, if you have these carbon offsets, you can offset your own emissions. So they can be used by companies for compliance purposes, or they can be used for voluntary, like net zero pledges. That's the baseline credit system, basic operation of that system.
And in Taiwan, who is eligible to participate in the carbon credit exchange?
Because this time the scheme has been implemented in Taiwan for several years, and currently there are more than 90 registered projects already. In terms of eligible applicants, for those that are going to be charged with carbon fee, currently they are not eligible to apply for this type of carbon credit project, but the policy might change.
And how similar is Taiwan's carbon trading platform to other countries?
It's quite different from the cap and trade system that we've seen, for example, in the European Union. But in terms of the process, in terms of the spirit of having a comparison with conservative baseline and the actual emission, and having to meet the requirement of additionality, all these essential elements would be very similar, either across countries or within, the international voluntary carbon market aspect.
So, will the system actually help Taiwan reduce its greenhouse gas emissions?
Well, if your question is that whether the carbon credit system in Taiwan would help us to meet our own national net zero goal as stipulated in the Climate Change Response Act, the question might not be yes, because the system is not designed for that purpose.
Then, what do you think the carbon credit scheme needs to make sure it works?
From your questions, there are two answers. The first one is that the system is only a supplement, and you have to, reduce the emission by your own effort. And the second aspect is that since you're using them as a supplemental tools, and since you use them to offset emissions, you have to make sure that it comes from a genuine good project with all the robust accounting and verification requirement to make sure that it really can represent a 1 ton of CO2 emissions that are being offsetted.